This is Mr. F Serious today, and I'm going to be telling you how to play Pokemon. Pokemon is a very complicated game unless you already know how to play it. And once you get to know how to play it, it really kicks in just like that. And it can be really fun and competitive once you learn how to play it. And there's different ranks of competitions and other fun things to learn about. So to start, I'm just going to say what you need to have in a deck or what you need to have outside the deck. Or what you might want to help. So what you need in a deck is 60 cards. Okay, 60 cards, right? This is my deck right here. And they all have to be wearing the same sleeve. There are some random ones in the back that I put in, but all of them are the Charmander sleeve. And then you also need supporters. They can be really any type of supporter as long as they're not world champion. You also need energies to power up your Pokemon's attacks. You can use gold energies, you can use regular energies, but you cannot use world champion energies. You can see by the rating right there. And you also need trainers. So for trainers, you can have the supporters, like I already said. You can have Pokemon tools. Climate Snowy Mountain. This is just, I accidentally said Climate Snowy Mountain, but it's just this is a stadium. See by that. The Pokemon tool, you can see by that. And item. Supporters will usually be a person. So that's one way to tell, but sometimes items or other things with the minute. So just check as a supporter. And during your turn, and then this is a Pokemon. You also need these, but you can also have regular Pokemon. This one, don't worry about the stamp, just from special packs I get from my competitions. So you can use regular Pokemon, you can use these. But if you use a Pokemon like this, evolution Pokemon, you have to have the pre-stages first. Some cards will allow you to skip a stage 1 and then go straight to stage 2, and so on. And you need the energies, the correct energies to use as attack. Star energies count as any energies. So if you attach a fire energy, and then let's say you attach a fire, grass, and fighting, because that you need one fighting, then you can still use its attack, because you can use any energy for the stars. And you can only use one supporter per turn. But if you go first and it's your first turn, you cannot use any supporters. But you can use as many items as you want. You can only use one stadium, but you can use the stadium's ability once. Unless the stadium has you do something that may need you to use it more than once. And then you also need 60 of the same sleeve. So you saw mine were all Charmander sleeves right there, because I got them in a Charmander Elite Trainer box for Obsidian Flame. And Elite Trainer boxes are really good. Elite Trainer boxes are really good because they give you sleeves, and they can also give you some packs to pull the cards that you want, and they give you dice, which are also damage counters, which you can use as damage counters, which is ideally what you need, because that'll tell you how much damage is on a Pokemon. Let's say you get 90 damage on this guy, you can just find the 90 dice, put it on X2, and then just say that you don't have 10 HP left, which is correct, so that just works also. And then there's also abilities, which just read the card so you can see what the ability means. And then you can use any type of card as long as it's not world champion. So you can use full art golds. Realistically, you can use anything. You can also use stamped cards. You can use promos. Really just any type of card that you have that you would like to use. Except world champion. You cannot use world champion. It will say on the card. And then there's also formats. There's expanded format, standard format, and unlimited format. The one that you'd mostly be playing in would probably be standard format, because that one is all Scarlet and Violet, and it's the one most played. Then expanded format. So this right here is a standard format deck inside this box, which I showed you. And this right here is an expanded format deck I built around Guzzlord. And I'm gonna go GX Tag Team. But you don't have to, if you're playing expanded, you don't have to only use expanded cards. You can still use standard format cards, which is another like good thing to know. Because you could have a standard deck inside of an expanded competition and just change around a few of the cards that maybe you want that are old cards, right? Particularly expanded is a bit better than standard, but standard will have more competition because then you can get like some league points and stuff. League points will help you go to higher competitions, give you higher league points, and if you go to worlds, that you need a lot of points for. And then standard is Scarlet and Violet, so 2023 year, 2023 all the way up to 2025. 3 years, not that much. But the easier way to tell it is, so let's say you have this guy, right? And just look down in the bottom left corner and it will have a letter. This one says G right there. It says G. You may not be able to see it, but it does. While this one says H. So on, so on. So I is newest. I is 2025, H 2024, and G is 2023. And in March and April, that's the rotation. And they're going to take out G, and hopefully they'll have J. And so that's just like another thing added on. And then also, unlimited format. Now, unlimited is every year, so you can use your base set cards if you collected as a little kid. If you're a grown-up now and you just still have your cards and you really want to battle with them, you can use them. You can use any type. You can still use standard format. It really doesn't matter. Just standard format is every card has to be regular except for the energies. The energies can be any type, any year. And then another thing is just something to help you a bit. Probably be a deck box. And that will help you just holding and protecting your deck. And also a mat. Now, the mat I don't have on me right now. But, wait, yes I do. Wait, no I don't. Wait, do I? Well, I can't tell. I don't think I do. But the mat will just help you protect your cards when you're playing the actual game. And then you could also use something to hold your mat, so then it keeps wound up just to protect your mat. They'll help protect your cards. Now, that seems like a lot of protecting, but you want to keep them protected because if your corners, let's say they're really beat up, right? You cannot use their sleeves. I recently just learned that. So if you have beat up corner edges, you have to use new ones, which I'm okay with because it's not that big of a change. That just means you're going to have to continually buying sleeves if they keep getting beat up, which isn't that big of a problem because they're not too much money. But when you do buy sleeves, just make sure that they're the right size. This one, I don't know if I'm allowed to use with that beat up corner right there. Pretty much just telling you that I've been playing this deck, kind of. But, so, I don't know. So, realistically, just remember that. And they'll have a judge usually if you go to a competition. Now, you're going to ask me, how do I get to a competition? And that's an easy question to answer. And that is, there's different levels of competition, which would be Worlds, which is the highest level, Regionals, which is the, like, right before Worlds. I don't really know if there's any other ones. And then like, at your local card store, there might be one. Now, all of those should give you match points. And if you can only win in them a certain amount of times. And if you get enough, you can go to Worlds. And I'm pretty sure that if you're under 16, you get the flight for free. Because Worlds can be around the world. And then, also, you're going to want a coin, which can just be a dice for, like, odd and even. numbers to roll, and this will tell you who is going to choose to go first or second, and it's just a fair way to do it. And then once you do it, then if you go first, like I said, you cannot use a supporter card, and you can also not attack. I didn't tell you that, but you cannot attack when you go first. And when you go second, you can pretty much do everything, and it's just like the regular turn. And you're going to have 6 prize cards for your opponent. And once you knock out your opponent's Pokemon using attacks from your Pokemon, then that's when you can get the prize cards. And EXs have rule boxes, or VMAXs have rule boxes, tag teams have rule boxes. Pretty much every good card will have a rule box, good in battle weight. So if it's a GX, EX, ODX, level X, I don't know if level X has it. Just a lot of other things will have rule boxes. VMAXs will take 3. Regular other things we usually take 2. And GX tag teams also take 3 prize cards. But there's cards to reduce it by 1, and I do have one. Like this ace spec. You can only have 1 ace spec in your deck. You can also, and if you're playing expanded, you can also only have 1 prism card, as I call it. That's like this. Like this Jirachi card. You can only have 1. And then they'll usually tell you if you can only have 1. So that's always good, just to help you a little bit. And if you get all the prize cards, then you win. And if you don't have any Pokemon on your bench and your opponent knocks out your active Pokemon that you're attacking with, then they win, because you have no Pokemon to attack. So you want to make sure that you have Pokemon on the bench so you can get ready just in case they have a crazy turn and knock you out. So you always want to prepare and make the best deck that suits you. But you can also check other things to see what the best decks are already and to see what cards you want to add. See if you want to buy already a pre-made deck. So they have build and battle decks. I recommend the Morning Scrim Snarl if you're going to get any. But there's also some other good decks that aren't build and battle. So there's Ethan's Typhlosion, Raging Bull. Those are just decks that someone put together, and now they're really good decks in competition. Competitions like Worlds, Regionals, and other things. And then there's also just a lot of other cards. And you want to try to match them together to make them all work together. So I was thinking of making a deck. And I was thinking of having all these: 2 Lapras, a Sparking Crystal, Blastoise, Chimpo, Squawkabilly, Iron Hands, Miraidon, another Chimpo, Lincoln-Rock, and Pikachu. They don't all work together, but Lapras has a cool attack, so I like it a lot. And it's pretty much based off of if you like your deck and if it's good for you to use. And more rules include you need these tokens, right, to say if you're poisoned or if you're poisoned, or if you're if you're poisoned, if you're burned, and if you are confused, you flip your Pokemon upside down. I'm pretty sure if you're asleep, because people can put you to sleep with their Pokemon, you have to turn it sideways, I think. And if you need any help with the rules, you can just ask the judge if there is one, which there usually be. Or you can just look in a trusty old manual thing that you want to look at that can help you, or you can just look up some rules online. There's a lot of rules, but realistically there's not that many rules. You can only attach 1 energy per turn, and there's really no limit. There's nothing to tell you what type of energy you can attach per turn. I don't think you can have 2. Maybe you can have 2 special energies on a Pokemon. I forget. And then realistically, you should just be able to get help from your judge, but you want to try to know most of the rules on your own, so then you can make your play more smoothly. And if you see your opponent doing something that you don't think is allowed, you can also call the judge. But if he says it's allowed, really nothing bad will happen. And some cards will allow you to take extra prize cards, like this tag team allows you to take some more. And that's always just helpful and annoying to your opponent. Now, it's not just about cards being helpful, it's also about being really annoying to your opponent. Because annoying your opponent will mess up their strategy and it will make it easier for you to win. And really, there's special decks that you can use to just annoy, get things back because there's cards that like to lose energies, but then you can get them back with other trainer cards. And it's just a lot of like knowing the meta and just how it works. But you can just look all of that up. Like, it's not that hard to look up. And really, the rules aren't too hard. You have to have one Pokemon in the active spot. If you don't, and if you also don't have any basic you can only use one basic Pokemon. You can only, well, not one, but you can only have one. You can only have basic Pokemon at the start. And it takes you a turn to evolve because you can't evolve them right on the spot. Like, you put it down, you can't just evolve it again. And some cards will allow you to skip evolution, like I already said. And there will be other cards that will have you shuffle your hands to your deck. If you don't know how to shuffle, I bet you your opponent will if it's not their first time. And you could also just watch a game maybe once or twice and then learn how they did it and decide, like, I want to do it that way. That may also work. And it really just depends on how you want to play it, but it doesn't always work as you plan. Like, you could get a really bad hand and you could just lose the game off the spot, which you should be able to do another practice round with the person if they say yes after the thing. After that game, after the game you had, because there will still be probably timer on the clock waiting for the other people to finish up their games. Because Pokemon is a longer game, like half an hour long, and that makes it so but it can also be like 5 minutes long. Like it can be really quick or it can be really long. So it really just depends how your hands work, and that's really all for beginners to know about Pokemon. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else. I don't know. That's it, if there is. So, oh yeah. So after you shuffle your deck, always ask your opponent cut, and they're either gonna cut or tap, but they usually have to cut in the bigger leagues. So I'd recommend cutting your opponent just to cut their deck after they shuffle. If they don't ask, then just tell them then you can just call a judge, I guess. I don't really know if you're allowed to call a judge in that. But if you're a beginner, then they'll help you out. And you should be fine. So that's all beginners need to know about Pokemon and how to play. And I hope that you start to play Pokemon, and I will hope you have a great time playing if you do.